Good morning, I'm John Turner from Educational Life, and thank you for joining me on my 4NTV Live. This is really exciting. I set this up March, April time, I think, so obviously you've got to set yourself a long time to get going. Okay, so we're now going to get started with a 40 word round. This is not a 40-second round, obviously. Any of you that can send me the 40 words as a Facebook comment. This can be a brief pitch about you and your business, which everyone tuned in will be able to see. I won't be able to read them, but I will try and pick out a few comments. As a tip for future weeks, prepare this ahead of time and then just paste it as a comment with each show. Good morning, Martin. How are you doing? Whilst you're typing out your 40 words, here's my 40-second pitch. So my business is Education Life, as you can see on the roller banner, nicely placed. Education Life is a magazine that goes into schools locally, and we report on good news. That good news is very hard to come by, as the press don't really like to do good news. So we report on the good news. Yesterday, one of my guys went out to a local school and Warwick Davis was there. So there's a report on our website about that, which is absolutely fantastic. So if anyone is interested in getting into schools and we can help them, obviously locally, then we can help them with that. Okay, Martin, you're the warrior. Yes, you are. Okay, so I didn't realise that about you, Martin. I've got to be honest. I'm glad you're better now. Good morning, Kimber. Good morning, Duncan. Empowering people, that's a great thing, isn't it? Really, really helps people to understand and learn about what they really, truly can do. Good morning, Saroj. How you doing? You okay? Exactly right, Duncan. You've got to love what you do. Got to. Good morning, Hayley. Brain fog. Interesting. Oh, I see. Weight loss, right? Okay. Just a couple more minutes, see if anyone else wants to join in. Oh, that's very kind. I was a bit worried when I saw it. I thought, ooh, I'm not sure. I'm glad it was a good effort. Oh, well done, Hayley. That's a great start. Friday the 13th is often I don't really understand that. Nothing ever has ever happened to me on Friday the 13th, so I don't really understand what that superstition is all about, to be honest. Todd, you've got good skills. Good. You did tell me yesterday, Hayley. Well done. Thank you for that. Good faith in me there. Right, okay. I'm going to get started on my foresight now. It's now time. It's now time for my foresight slot, which, just as a 4networking meeting, isn't a sales pitch, but an insight into a specialist field experience or interesting area of my life. My foresight is entitled business numbers man to salesman to designer man. I started out in life wanting to be an accountant, which I know is some people have obviously got their thoughts on that. I'm quite good at numbers. I wanted to use that to the best of the ability. So yeah, I started out working for the Inland Revenue, which I know a lot of people will hiss and boo about. You know, I totally agree now. There is HMRC and everything else with that is yeah, not many people like them, did it? Yeah, so obviously I wanted to be an accountant, but with my love for numbers, this was a natural progression. So I wanted to go down that road. It made sense to me. My uncle was an accountant. He showed me what he did, and all of that resulted, as I say, in getting the job with the Inland Revenue. Was up from Liverpool originally. Was working in Warrington, which isn't too far away, and did that job for about 2 years. During that time, I met my now wife, Claire, who is from Kent. So I commuted from Warrington every Friday, and on the Friday night I would get on the bus, the National Express bus, from Warrington down to London, and then from London I would go straight across to Ramsgate, which is as far as you can go in Kent. You can't go any further, or you'd hit the sea. Yeah, so I would normally leave work on the Friday. Straight after work, I would get into to Ramsgate around about between 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning. So, and then obviously spend the weekend, which was quite painful. Yeah. Then on the Sunday night, I would then return home, and that would be leaving around about 8 o'clock in the evening, I think it was, and I would go straight into work, so straight into Warrington, and do a day. Luckily, the Inland Revenue, they did flexi time, so I was able to sort of mooch away about 2 o'clock, so it wasn't too bad. After doing that job for about 2 years, as I say, I moved down to Kent, got married to Claire, and we started our life together. Still wanted to be an accountant at that time. Tried to get a transfer with the HMRC. They had no job down here, unfortunately, so I started doing my AAT qualifications, which obviously is accounts technician. At that point, obviously, I wasn't making any money, so I needed to start a job. So I started working at Staples. Staples, as many of you hopefully will know, is a computer shop. They sell pens and pencils and everything else, but I was on the computer side, so I sold the computers, sold the printers, and it was at this point that I realised that sales is actually quite fun. I started winning awards. There was a Brother initiative that were selling their printers. I actually won an award across the UK. Our store, based on percentage, our store sold the most, and we won some tickets to Dubai, tickets to the Formula One. I chose the tickets to the Formula One because there was only one ticket to Dubai, so what's the point in going on your own? And yeah, it was obviously at this point, as I say, I decided to become a salesman. It was more fun, got to talk to people. I really enjoy talking to people. I really enjoy the different needs of people, really. I guess helping people find out what they want. And instead of many other retail shops, we weren't on commission, so I wasn't there trying to sell them a £500 machine when they've only got a budget of 300 quid. There's no point in that, is there, really? You just annoy people. So yeah, so I was doing that alongside the AAT. So I continued my AAT training. I'm AAT trained, but I was finding it very, without being horrible, if there's any accountants listening, boring. Really sorry. Yeah, so I decided to take up the mantle of salesman. A job came up at the local newspaper to sell advertising, and I thought, well, I can pretty much sell anything to anyone, in my opinion. So I took on the job. not realising just how difficult advertising sales actually is, which, in all honesty, advertising sales, in my opinion, is the most hard job in the sales world, because you're not selling, it's not tangible, you can't touch it. You know, there's no way of telling people exactly what they're going to get for their money. It is a punt on everyone's part. You know, you've got to trust what I'm saying, and I've got to believe what I'm saying. So it does go hand in hand. So I went to work for the newspaper. Did that for about 5 or 6 years. During this time, started my family as well. Claire had 2 children from previous, and at this point, whilst I was at the newspaper, I had my second child, or Claire had my second child, sorry. Jack was born in 2005, and then Charlie was born in 2008. So at that point, obviously, we've got 4 children, and yeah, I'm at the newspaper, and they decided to move the office about an hour further away from where I'm at, from where I'm living, and they weren't going to increase our pay, and so it was going to take me an extra 2 hours a day of travelling, and it was going to cost me however much to get there every day. So I chose to leave. I wasn't prepared to take that hit for nothing. At that point, I decided to go it alone. My wife Claire, she was working in education. She worked for the School Sports Partnership, and her job had started to become unsure. The government started looking at possibly cutting it, and then in the end they did cut her job, unfortunately. They were doing a very, very good job. Unfortunately, they were cut. And so we decided to use both of our skills. So my advertising skills, Claire's links within the schools and education, and we came up with a magazine called Thanet School News. I've got the very first copy here. That is really bad, isn't it? Really bad. It is, yeah, obviously it is what it is. I didn't have any design skills at that time, and we decided to go into it, and Claire had the contacts, so we were able to get stories from the schools, and I had the advertising skills, so I was able to sell the advertising, and we did it. It was amazing. It was a great idea, and yeah, we took the jump, and actually we were so pleased with it. That was 2012, and later that same year, my 5th child came along. So Thomas was born in August 2012. And yeah, so then obviously we had more to deal with. Moving forward from there, the magazine started getting stronger. We started looking at new areas, and we did many other things. And lots of people that needed they needed artwork. They didn't have artwork. Some people didn't even have logos. And I started using the software that I was using. I started using Publisher. I then moved on to Serif, which some of you might know, and then obviously I moved into the world of Adobe, as every good publishing house should do. We now use InDesign and Photoshop, and I've over that time I've gone on many courses and self-taught really to the standard where we are now. And yeah, so basically a lot of people wanted adverts, they wanted artwork, they didn't have logos, and basically I was there to try and help that. So that I started moving slightly away from sales, and became designer man. I was still salesman as well, but I started with the designer man to help the magazine grow into what it has become now. Oh yeah, so it was basically, it got to the point where that started then becoming a thing in its own right. So I started to do logos, business cards, roller banners, that sort of thing. So I now offer that to the side, I guess, because my skill has developed, and I became the designer man that, as per the title of this foresight. The idea behind all of it is to provide for my family, obviously. the next step, who knows? The magazine is a community interest company, CIC, so that's keeping me extremely busy at the moment. So I don't know what is next. Hopefully that is going to keep going and grow and grow and grow, and then we move forward. And the next step, who knows? So that is my foresight. I would love questions if there are any out there. You worked on InDesign years ago, Martin. InDesign and Photoshop have changed my life. They really have. Because Publisher and Serif, not the best. Not the best. What's next? As I say, I don't really know, to be honest. The magazine is keeping me very, very busy. I do plan to grow the magazine. At the moment, we just cover a small part of Kent. Within that, we go into the schools. So the idea is to cover Kent within 2 to 3 years, and then after that, we're hopefully going to cover more of the UK. So yes, we do articles. We do articles and advertise, and the articles are always good news. We're not interested in bad news. We're not interested in bad Ofsteds or anything like that. Just the good news. So thank you, Haley. That's very kind. What do I want to do if time and money were no object? To be honest, I would love to have this across the whole of the country because it's such a great tool. You know, we being from Liverpool, I don't have anything there at the moment. Square of 64 is 8. And the idea behind that is, you know, I go up to Liverpool and people say to me, "Oh, this would be amazing," but I can't stretch myself at the moment. My team is too small. So I wouldn't be able to do a Liverpool edition, but that is the plan. You know, the plan is to have a huge team and to cover the whole of the UK, because spreading good news is far more important. We've found that, you know, everyone we come into contact with, they're fed up with all the bad news, all the negative press, and you know, doing a lot more good news, it just G's people up. You know, people get really excited and you know, pleased that someone's actually got something good to say. We get people to provide articles in many different ways. So a lot of people on 4N have contributed. A lot of local schools contribute, local clubs, that sort of thing. Anyone is welcome to send us stuff, and we would obviously consider it as long as it fits with our with the ethos of the magazine, and obviously is targeted to the right people. So. Yeah, Martin, you said something. The team is me and Mrs. T are the team. We've also got an admin or office manager, Anna, who is incredible. Without her, I think possibly the whole thing would fall apart. And we've got Dave, who goes into the schools. He is absolutely incredible. Like I say, he met with Warwick Davis yesterday, and the story was he went into the school. And his wife said, "Oh, do you want to speak to Warwick?" And he was like, "No, I want to speak to the Star Show. I want to speak to you." And it was, you know, it really just that's how we roll. You know, we're not there to sort of speak to the real star of the show, but you know, it's all about everyone. It's all about the good news. It's all about, you know, the charity that she started up for dwarfism. She actually started that, and Warwick got involved. So, from what I've been told, so yeah. That's very kind. Thank you, Tammy. The website is, yeah, we are very proud of that. You know, getting as much of the articles on there as possible, and competitions and things. Elaine, where do we send articles to? You can send articles to our editor, so which is Claire, my wife. So if you send it to editor@educational-life.org, that would be fantastic. So if I read that again, because I think I wasn't too clear. So it's editor@educational-life.org.